Hello, I'm Greg Piper and welcome to my latest Lake Macquarie Matters. In this video, I'd like to talk about the New South Wales Container Deposit Scheme, which has been operating for a few months now. And while I think it's a worthwhile idea and great for the environment, in my electorate of Lake Macquarie, its implementation could have been better, the main problem being the lack of available locations. In the Lake Macquarie electorate, the only location available was Bonnells Bay. Otherwise, you had to travel to Mount Hutton, Edgeworth, or even further afield to Newcastle or the Central Coast. Now, if you did go to Bonnells Bay, originally, bottles were only being accepted using a manual system to count the containers in at the Bonnells Bay Hotel. And that caused a number of problems. The hotel staff were overrun with demand, trying to manage it, and there just wasn't storage capacity for the containers, which upset a lot of people who had to be turned away. I'm happy to say that reverse vending machines were installed a few weeks ago and are operational at Bonnells Bay, which is fantastic for residents in the South Lakes area, but we need more of them right across the electorate. My priority is to have a reverse vending machine in Toronto and then possibly more in the Morisset area. One problem is trying to find a site that will agree to host them. I had hoped that the management of Coles and the larger Toronto Town Square or the Toronto Workers Club would agree to host a site, but at this stage both have declined, which is somewhat disappointing. The sites need to meet certain criteria. They need to have adequate parking and be located away from residential properties due to the noise. I look forward to a solution being found. For anyone not quite sure how the Container Deposit Scheme, also being called Return and Earn, works, well, the New South Wales Government has put together a few ads, and those are playing behind me now. The nuts and bolts of it are that drink containers make up 44% of all litter across the state and cost us more than $162 million a year to manage. This scheme aims to help meet the government's target of reducing the amount of litter across the state by 40% by the year 2020. And that's done by encouraging people to put eligible containers and bottles into these reverse vending machines or drop them off at collection points and earn 10 cents per item. The locations of these facilities can be found on this website, complete with an interactive map. As you can see, using a reverse vending machine is pretty easy, but it's worth noting that not all containers and bottles are accepted. While most bottles between 150 millilitres and 3 litres in volume are eligible for a 10-cent refund, not all are. Perhaps the most relevant to be excluded from the list are milk and milk substitute containers, large fruit juice bottles, wines, spirit bottles, registered health tonics and cordial bottles. This is because these are considered to be mostly used at home. As with all of my Lake Macquarie Matters segments, I'd like to finish up by taking a look at a spectacular photo taken by one of my constituents and just have a go at this shot of Pulborough Island's magnificent rocky shoreline by Melissa Blackstock. If you've got a photo you'd like me to share, please send it in. I'm Greg Piper and Lake Macquarie Matters.